Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box down below under the video. Feel free if you wish to. But this is for a 2020 film called Alone. This is one directed by John Hyams. John Hyams! The reason I say it that way is because he directed these Universal Soldier direct-to-video films that I'm not a fan of. Not a fan of what they did with the Luke Devereaux character. I'm not a fan of the direction they went in. There's a couple of good action scenes, but like Scott Adkins is good in Day of Reckoning, but still not a fan of those films. Because I'm not a fan of their stories. I'm not a fan of the direction they took the characters that I did like in the first Universal Soldier. But anyway, he directed this, and this is more maybe to his. He should do, if you don't do films, maybe more like this, where you're just doing your own thing and you're not dealing with action, you're not dealing with a franchise. This one was decent. This one was okay. It's nothing memorable. It's pretty basic. And that's actually one of the issues with the film. It's a bit too basic. But the setup is very simple. This girl, she's played by Jules Willcox. I thought she did a good job. She decides to move. She has a U-Haul. She's moving from A to B. As she's going, there's this SUV. She tries to pass it. Guy's being a fucking dick. Almost makes her hit a fucking semi. She gets rattled by it. Has phone calls with her dad. You get a bit like the parents. Oh, you left already? How come you left already? Blah, blah, blah. You're trying to find out that her husband has died from suicide. She's still a bit rattled because of that. She wants to start a new life. And the big plus I would give the film is the way the main character is written is smarter than usual. And I would say that's the biggest positive I would say about the film. There's not a lot of moments where the character does something you go, what the fuck? And I appreciate that. Because, for example, there's this guy, he sees that guy in the US SUV. And he's in his arm is in a sling. He looks a bit creepy with his cum catcher mustache. And he's like, his car on the side of the road. And she's like, well, I'll call for help. Well, can I get a ride with you? Actually, how about this? Wait, there's a gas station up there? I'll tell the gas station they'll come and pick you up. Oh, but if I could just get a ride. She's smart enough not to get out of the car. She's smart enough not to let the guy in her car. She's smart enough to be like, listen, I'll get you help, okay? And drives away. And she's smart enough to, like, when she sees the guy again, she immediately drives away. She calls 911. But despite doing, smarter things than usual for a character in this movie, it still doesn't help. It's still just a point that she gets knocked out. She's put into this, like, cabin. She escapes. She meets this hunter, who's sadly not in the film much. But the hunter I recognize is Anthony Heald. He was in Silence of the Lambs. He was in Deep Rising. In Silence of the Lambs, he was the guy who, kind of the doctor, I don't know how you call him, who, remember the end of the Silence of the Lambs? I'm going to invite someone for dinner. Invite someone to dinner. And he's following. That's who Anthony Hopkins is following at the end of Silence of the Lambs. He was also the major human prick in Deep Rising with Treat Williams. He's in this for a bit. And then pretty much a chunk of the film is Woman being chased by guy in the woods. Hiding, hiding some more. Finds out the bad guy is a family man. At one point able to get the phone away from him and contact the guy's wife. Very minimalistic, but it doesn't really stand out from the crowd. That's kind of one of the issues with it is the photography in the forest. Great location they got. Nicely shot. Does John Hyams learned a thing or two from his dad, Peter Hyams, who was his director and also cinematographer. So it's a good looking movie. The acting, the guy who plays the villain, he's not over the top, he's not corny, he's not campy. He works for what he needs to do. The lead, her doing smart things made her not get so mad at her, made her feel bad for her. It's a film that needed about 20 minutes cut, because it's like an hour and 40 minutes. I think that this was a leaner 80, 70, 80 minutes, it would be better. Because there's just not enough story there to carry a 100-minute running time. I mean, it's, like I said, it's as basic as you can get. Creepy guy, tries to get away, knocked out, escapes, run through the woods. The end. And there's not really like twists and turns or any of the sort to really get people that intrigued or stand out from the pack. So I guess if you want to see, a base, well done in terms of writing, well done but basic cat and mouse chase. It's serviceable. It's fine. It's okay. I didn't hate it. But I would see certain reviews and they're like propping it up so big. I went, I think it's fine, but I don't think it's as fantastic as some of these guys are making it out to be. That's just me. I'm like, it's fine. But like I said, there's not a whole lot of exciting action or gore or exceptional musical score or wow, that's a weird twist and turn or daring stunts. There's a bit that she goes into a creek and goes through the water. The ending, they don't pull any BS on the ending, which is nice. But like I said, it's fine. But it then made me go, well, I could just go watch The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell. I could go watch, it's not the same thing, but Kidnap with Halle Berry. It's just there's other movies that at least try to do a little bit more. Like The Hitcher is just visceral in his action, and Rutger Hauer, who is he? You know who he is? Is he even, a real person? Is he a mythical? Is he a ghost? Is he just a psycho? Like, there's layers you could think of with The Hitcher. Here, it's a pretty flimsy story. As in, like I said, it's very, I keep calling it basic. That's why it's kind of hard to review the film, because there's not a lot to talk about. Other than, again, for the most part, you see pretty much just three actors. The three that I mentioned. Again, when you get into the woods, there's a lot of cat and mouse. Him trying to piss her off by talking about her husband, but she doesn't fall for the bait. I don't want to say, oh, she does a smart thing, so that makes it a boring movie. Not the case at all. It's just, I don't want her to do dumb stuff. I still think you could have her do smart stuff and still be, I don't know, a bit more of an exciting film. Or a bit more of a unique film. Or a bit more of a, to really stand out from the pack. And there's not a whole lot to make this stand out from any other cat and mouse film. It's one of those films you watch and it's fine. But I don't see myself remembering this film 2 weeks later. Even the title alone, pretty simple, basic title. I guess that was the whole point. John Hyams, let me make the most simple, basic film, and it's fine. But this is a movie that came out 2020, and I heard no one talk about this film. I had no one talk about this film, mention this film, even know this film existed. In fact, I got confused for a bit with this other film. There's even more than one film called Alone. There's like I think a Korean film called Alone, and then they did like an American version of that called Alone, and this is neither of those. So if you like cat and mouse survival stories, I do as well, and I just said it's fine. There's nothing really egregiously bad about it at all. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch if you like that type of stuff. There's really nothing in here to get mad over. Like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like when you buy cereal that's it's good, it did its purpose, but at the same time there's no strong taste, there's no strong attributes to really make it stand out from the pack. Again, the strongest I could say, and I'll say this for the last time, is at least the lead character is written smarter than usual. And maybe they thought that enough would suffice. Maybe it will for a lot of people. To me, that is the biggest positive. As well as, again, the way the woods, they're shot. There's good cinematography. Again, I don't think it needed to be an hour and 40 minutes. I think that's too long of a running time. Again, for this simple plot, 70 minutes would have sufficed. Maybe 75 minutes. Yeah, there is a chunk you could take out of this. And I think that would have worked even better. Or again, maybe a little bit more distinct stuff to make it stand out from the pack. But overall, more than serviceable, decent film. I don't know what else to say because I'm just repeating it myself. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.